Good morning. Here continuing the lesson Physiology and Sports. In previous video we have discussed about the physiological factors determining strength, physiological factors determining speed, and physiological factors determining endurance we have discussed. So now we are starting here that physiological factors determining flexibility. So flexibility is the range of movement of joint is known as flexibility that we have discussed. So how it is affected? What are the factors which decide about the flexibility? So this we are discussing here. Muscle strength. Weak muscle cannot exert sufficient force to achieve full range of movement. So muscle strength is highly trainable. So flexibility can be decided by the muscle strength, because only the strong muscles can have full range of movement, and because they can stretchability is there, they can move all around. So full range of movement is possible when the muscle is strong. So weaker muscles, in case of full range of movement, when the external additional force is applied over the to stretch the muscle, so then these muscles get teared. So muscle fibers get teared. So that's why always the strong muscles exhibit good flexibility. So muscle strength is clear. How muscle strength is deciding the flexibility of the individual. Flexibility, as we know, it is the full range of movement of the muscles and joint. So weak muscle cannot exert sufficient force to achieve full range of movement. So strong muscles can only show the full range of movement and show the good flexibility, and muscle strength is highly trainable, because we can increase by the muscle strength by the training. Joint structure. Structure of joint is a limiting factor for flexibility, because the flexibility is exhibit from the joint. Muscles are elastic in nature, so that's why the elasticity of muscles is also there to exhibit the flexibility, but especially the joint structure of joint is responsible for the flexibility. Sometimes when we are not working for longer duration, so the joints become so rigid. Continuous activities, physical activities, continuous regular physical exercises makes the joint flexible, and the joint can move in full range. There can be full range of movement can be seen. So structure of joint is a limiting factor for the flexibility. The structure of joint is disturbed when we are not involved in physical activity. Like sometime the structure of joint consists of cartilage, synovial fluid, ligaments. So the proper structure of the joint also always allow full range of movement. When there is any problem, ligaments are not proper, cartilage is not proper state or broken, synovial fluid is not being produced properly, or lack of synovial fluid at the site of the joint, and the associated muscles are weaker. So anything at the structure of the joints can decide the flexibility of the individual. So joint structure is clear now, how the joint structure determines the flexibility. Age and gender. Flexibility is maximum during childhood and decreases with the advancement of the age. It can be enhanced with training. Female tend to be more flexible than males. As when we are talking about the age, so definitely the flexibility with the age decreases. As the age increases, the flexibility decreases. In older age, it is very difficult to exhibit good flexibility, whereas in childhood the flexibility is higher, very good flexibility, and flexibility can be developed through the training. In any age, the flexibility can be maintained or developed through the physical activities or training. So, childhood, the flexibility can be developed since childhood, and during the childhood it is very easy to develop high level of flexibility, because the joint structure is properly developed, and the muscles are highly stretchable. So this is the age when the flexibility can be developed highly. Gender. Females are physiologically more flexible than the males. So in the case of female, the flexibility is always good than the males. So this is about the age and gender. We can see then stretchability of strength. Physiological factors determining the flexibility, stretchability of muscles. We have discussed in the previous slide also, the stretchability is there, muscles are highly stretchable. So stretchability of muscles limit the range of movement. Stretchability can be improved by training. Muscles can be stretched, but it must be practiced by the training and physical activities. So we can increase the stretchability of the muscles, which will help us to improve the flexibility. Body temperature has a positive correlation with body flexibility. Warm up before any sports activity is highly advisable. So that's why we have seen then before any physical activity we perform warming up activities, because this warming up keeps our body warm, and when body is warm, so definitely the muscles and the joints can move in maximum range. And also we can understand then during the summer the body flexibility is better than the winters, because the mobility of the joints and the muscles is so smooth, because body remains warm, body temperature is always higher during the summers. So the warm body can also exhibit good flexibility. So body temperature also the deciding factor for the flexibility. Previous injuries. Injury to connective tissues and muscles can lead to thickening on the affected area, leading a reduced flexibility. Rehabilitation exercises are must after healing the injury. So previous injuries, like wherever there is an injury, especially soft tissue injuries and muscle injury, so that affected area reduce the flexibility, because during the if there is no proper rehabilitation exercise, so some that part of the muscle become thick, or that may be there may be a cyst like structure which can reduce the flexibility. That's why the rehabilitation exercises are very important, because rehabilitation exercises after healing, after getting recover from the injury, helps to maintain the components of the fitness, especially like flexibility, and it helps rehabilitation exercises helps to maintain the structure of the normal structure of that affected part, or it helps to regain the normal structure of the affected area. So this is the rehabilitation exercises. That's why rehabilitation exercises are must after healing of injury. So previous injury is sometime decides about the flexibility. Either it is joint injury, bone injury, muscles injury, and soft tissue injury, any injury. Definitely the injured part is no more stronger than it was earlier. This is because we do not follow the rehabilitation exercises. If we are doing rehabilitation exercises after getting over the injury, then we can regain the strength, the structure, the strength of that particular affected part can be regained. So this is about the physiological factors determining flexibility. Now we will come to the another topic, that is the effect of exercises on various systems of the body. So first is exercise, the effect of exercise on cardiovascular system. So we can see the cardiovascular system. This is the system the cardiovascular system is the joint working of the heart and lungs. The system is known as cardiovascular system. You can see the cardiovascular system, the joint system of circulatory system and the respiratory system is known as cardiovascular system, because cardio means heart, vascular means lungs, and heart and lungs only together can complete their functions in body. They cannot work alone. So that's why the cardiovascular system is known as the joint working of circulatory system as well as respiratory system, heart and lungs. So what are the effect of exercise? So immediate effect of exercise on cardiovascular system, immediate effect which can be seen immediately: increase in heart rate, because whenever we are doing any work, any physical activity. So we can see the heart rate increases in anticipation, called anticipatory response, increases as per the intensity and the duration of exercise. If you are doing any activity fast, so in the same way the heart rate will increase. According to the intensity of the exercise, the heart rate will increase quickly. So this is immediate effect on the cardiovascular system. We can see the heart rate increases in stroke volume. Stroke volume is known as the amount of blood ejected per beat from the left ventricle. Stroke volume is the amount of blood pumped out in single heartbeat, that we have discussed in previous video also. Stroke volume is the volume of blood which is pumped out by the heart in a single heartbeat. That is known as stroke volume. So increase in stroke volume is increased the amount of blood ejected per beat from the left ventricle, because from the left ventricle it is moved to the aorta. Stroke volume increases 2 to 3 times during intensive exercise. Means when we are doing exercise fast and hard exercises, so then 2 to 3 times the stroke volume increases. So this is clear now. Increases in stroke volume, the another effect of exercise on the cardiovascular system. Increases in cardiac output. So cardiac output equal to stroke volume into heart rates. Means cardiac volume we can say, cardiac output we can say, then the amount of blood is pumped out by the heart in 1 minute. So heart rate in 1 minute means normally 72, and then stroke volume is the amount of blood pumped out in one heartbeat, so equal to will be cardiac output. So we can say it, the cardiac output is the amount of blood is pumped out by the heart in 1 minute. At rest the cardiac output is 5 liter per minute. In the rest position the cardiac output is 5 liter per minute. 5 liter can be blood is pumped out by the heart in 1 minute, which can increase to 20 to 40 liter per minute during intense exercises. When we are doing fast physical activities and hard physical activities, so this can be increased up to 20 to 40 liters per minute. So increases in cardiac output. So effect of exercise on cardiovascular system is it helps to increase the cardiac output. Then we can see, so cardiovascular system we have studied. Fourth is increase in blood flow. Blood flow also increases. This is immediate effect of the exercise on the cardiovascular system. Increase in blood flow. More blood is sent to the tissues and cells of the body, different parts of the body, which have immediate demand. At rest, 15 to 20% blood to skeletal muscle. During intensive exercises, 80 to 85% of the skeletal muscles. So skeletal muscles are all those muscles which are involved in the movement of the body. So the difference we can see, at the rest 15 to 20% of blood is supplied to the skeletal muscle, but during the intensive hard physical exercise the 80 to 85% of the blood is supplied to the skeletal muscles. So blood flow towards the skeletal muscles increases. Less blood to liver, kidney and intestine, and redirected to skin to enhance heat loss. So because these parts of the body during the exercise the blood flow is less, and maximum blood is supplied to the skeletal muscles. So that is increase in blood flow, increase in blood pressure. This we can see during the exercise. During exercise, the systolic blood pressure can increase by 50 to 70 mm per Hg, and diastolic blood pressure generally remains unchanged. So this is the increase in blood pressure. Blood pressure increases body temperature. Then when we are doing exercise, so definitely the body temperature increase. So waste products are released into the blood by muscles, because muscles are frequently working while we are doing any activity and exercise. So blood carries these waste products to lungs and kidney for elimination. From the lungs, it is gaseous waste is excreted, and from the kidney, the liquid waste is eliminated. So liquid and solid waste are filtered in the kidney by the kidney, and for elimination the chemical reactions produce heat in the body. That's why the body temperature increases, because the metabolic reactions are higher, and especially oxidation is higher. So that's why the biochemical reactions produce heat in the body. Some of it is utilized in performing activity. Some of the heat in the form of energy, it is utilized by the body, utilized in the performing activities, and the rest raises the body temperature. So definitely when the heat forming production, energy production exercise, the reactions are there, so energy will be produced and the heat will also be produced. So that's why the body temperature increases while doing the intensive physical exercises. So long-term effect of exercise we will discuss. So various systems, all the systems of the body, the effect of exercise, we will discuss one by one. So next we will come to the long-term effect of exercise on the cardiovascular system in the next video.